Exactly. You timed that perfect. Nice. Just right out of the gate. That's like NHRA reaction time right there. Bang.
Exactly.
Welcome to NasCanucks, the year in review show. The year some people want to forget. Others, they don't mind remembering it. We're your hosts. I'm Ben. He's Doug. And we put a Canadian perspective on the world of NASCAR. And plus, we'll offer our opinions and airs of grievances for a variety of series as long as they take us off. Sure.
Our very biased opinions.
Very
Biased.
Yes. So, year in review. Yeah, because what did we do last week? Oh, that was the Festivus special, right?
Yeah, where we just had a regular show.
Pretty much. So, the year started off in Daytona, as it has every year since like 1980-something. 82, I want to say, but I think it was later than that. They were still running Riverside as the first race of the year, but well, for a while there, it was actually the last race of the previous season, but they ran it before Daytona, and then it became a non-points race, and then it was a points. That's one thing about NASCAR; they like to change it up. Just
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like they just throw the old Yahtzee dice, and well, that's what we're dealing with this year.
And that's what they kind of dealt with all year this year.
Yep. Yeah. They did. I will say overall, they did a pretty good job.
Sure.
All things considered, because all of a sudden they're like, you know what? They adapted like the restaurant industry has this year. Like whatever we got to do to keep our business open, we'll do it. No fans? Fine. One-day events? Sure. We'll only travel just by road trips, so we'll do some mid-week events. Throwback, you love that, NASCAR fans and people. I missed it due to work, but you wanted the old.
Yeah. And even in dealing with COVID, the subject nobody wants to talk about. I think they did better than most.
Kyle Larson next year.
Pardon?
I heard COVID sponsoring Kyle Larson next year.
It might be the only person that wants to sponsor him, but anyway. In comparison with the other professional sports, I think they've done the best, or they did the best in. I don't know if you can say keeping the number of cases under wraps, but just only a couple drivers, and I want to say even for that hearing through the grapevine with everyone talking, is that even one of the cases, Jimmy Johnson, was more of that his wife tested positive. He never did, but just out of precaution.
Right. Hey, there we got Terry's Triple G's in the house and Eddie Van Haskell in the house. Nice.
Yeah. So there was so Jimmy Johnson.
Well, and that makes sense though from what we understand, and we don't understand much, but let's just say you're outside all the time at the NASCAR races, unless you're in your own hauler or something like that, because the garage area, you got those garage doors open. A lot of them, once you open them up, there's no walls at all. It's not like there's big wide walls between each door. And the doors are pretty much right up against each other.
Well, the drivers weren't allowed to go in the garage area anyway.
Right.
So the only two drivers that did test positive were not testing it, because like I said, we've heard Jimmy Johnson was just his wife. Was Austin Dillon.
Right.
And then we heard about a couple of non-road guys from Stewart-Haas.
Right.
That tested positive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure, Eddie. But yeah, no. Other than that, I think they did a great job. Some of the fans weren't happy with them, but
Yeah, and like say, like having been in garage areas, they're pretty open spaces, a lot of airflow. You have to, because if you're firing up race cars, they're making carbon monoxide. And generally, like sitting there and idling, they're running rich. Like it burns the eyes, real good.
Burns the ears at 7 a.m. as well too.
Yeah, I missed that. That was a nice wake up call. Whang! Up and hit that 8-9 grand. Just watching AEW and the okay, there you go. Well, there's been some of that tie-in over the years. What was it? So yeah, they were allowing some fans in where they could, at venues they could. whether it be in the stands. We didn't. Well, we did see a bit infield, but I'm trying to think of where that was.
Infield?
I thought there was limited. Maybe not. Maybe that was just wishful thinking.
Yeah, because you weren't allowed to camp at the track.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would take the infield out of it.
Right. So they got what? A quarter of the season in, about 8 races before everything went? No. 6?
No.
5?
Let me go to my other screen here. Pull that up. I had it right here.
Texas was the last one, wasn't it?
No. Phoenix on March 8th.
Right.
So they did Daytona, they did Vegas, California, Phoenix,
right,
and then all hell broke loose, and we sat from March 8th until May 17th.
Oh wow, it was that long. Yeah,
it was that long.
Wow. See, it almost doesn't seem like it, because then when they came back hard. Like, we had racing. Some weeks we had racing 6 nights of the week between the 3 top series.
Well, yeah,
and it was awesome.
With just the Cup Series alone, once they came back, they did what, May 17th, May 20th, May 24th, 28th, 31st, right? It was like, so there, right there, you got Darlington, Charlotte, and Bristol.
Right, and in between that, they sprinkled in some Xfinity and truck races, which were never usually 2 in the same day, at least early on. And that would there's some, if they have to do something like that again, like, not even have them go to the same tracks, especially with like the trucks going to the short tracks, it would be like, okay, Cup and Xfinity are running Charlotte, but the trucks are running Bristol or Richmond or something, something like that. That'd be cool. Or bring back Rockingham, but
yeah. But no, so I like I said, I think they did a great job. So they, start off. I don't know if you want to go through the races.
No.
Okay.
No.
But no, you know what? Your start off pretty good, I thought, for my JGR guys.
Sure.
With Denny picking up Daytona there, and then all of a sudden,
No, Terry, they have a 5th strap that goes up through there. You're good. You got a 3-inch wide strap.
So it's.
I don't think you'd want anything pressing on there universally like that.
No, so it's Then we went and had that break. Came back to Darlington, which was a great 2 races at Darlington.
Yeah.
And well, then we can even talk about the break that they had, because then that became iRacing became the focus.
Yeah, which you were following somewhat. I completely boycotted because it was ass, in my opinion. It wasn't real racing.
I didn't watch for the racing.
Right.
I watched for the commentary.
Yes.
Because we got the taste of what we'll get next year, which I thought was totally awesome.
Yes, that's true. And I will say I did watch a couple of IndyCar races that Dale Jr. competed in, amongst others that were in those races, because the IndyCar ones, like when they decided to run the virtual 500, it looked like Indy 500 1966, right? When you had the best of the best showing up.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden everyone's like, well, screw it, I'm running it. So they did.
Yeah. And then, there was a lot that came out of the iRacing, both good and bad, I guess you can say.
Well, they got it down pretty good. The top teams had their $30,000 sims, and you had your field fillers on their PlayStation 3s or 2s even,
Yeah, and you had those guys, those field fillers were winning the races, or at least finishing in the top.
Yeah.
Which, but then you had
Eddie.
Yeah. You had
he's on fire tonight.
You had guys like Bubba Wallace rage quitting a race after getting wrecked like
Yep.
8 times by a guy.
You got another guy banned from the actual sport during a virtual race.
Yes.
Ah,
Being Kyle Larson. You had a guy like Denny Hamlin running the top in a race, and then all of a sudden his daughter hitting the power button and
right.
just completely taking him out.
We also had flagrant breaking of NASCAR rules and NASCAR allowing it because there was alcohol consumption during racing.
Oh yes, yeah, and Clint Boyer was the main culprit in most of that.
Yeah, like part of his sim rig does include area for a 6-pack.
Yeah,
which well, that's many years ago. Let's just say, our local short track used to do an endurance race a couple times a year. A few times a year, 500 lap endurance race, run what you brung. And I won't say his name, but he used to always field a full size early to mid 70s Cadillac, and he'd put that thing in second gear on cruise control, and he had the console there. He had a 6-pack in the console, and he just cruised. And usually finished top 10. It wasn't the fastest car, but he was just cruising, staying out of trouble. Yeah, you can't do that. That's not right.
No, so
I had my opinion. It's not real racing, so I'm drinking.
Yeah, and I guess you can say that Denny Hamlin got the premature win because he did finish top out of the iRacing stuff. He had the most points of.
He did. Hey, Keith H.
You had William Byron getting his first wins, who then became, he was a big thing because he was the iRacer coming into NASCAR.
Right.
So he became the favorite.
And, that did help with a lot of comments later in the season. And so people were like, yeah, he should stick to sim racing.
Yeah. It then led to some comments from fans who got their hopes up with one of the racetracks that they did use.
Yeah.
That racetrack is not coming back.
Well, I won't say it'll never come back. There is a possibility, but it is so minute that it's literally going to have to take an ownership group, including someone like Dale Jr., who is enough of a name in the sport, who could pester NASCAR openly, mock them, saying, we should be here. We should be here.
I think the thing is, and he's even said it himself too, because he went and he spearheaded that whole thing to get that track, which now it's totally gone from my head.
North Wilkesboro?
That would be it. That he went and he went and he did everything for the track. They went and they did all the filming, all the whatever to get.
And Marcus Smith was there and helping out.
And which is fine. And he said, the surface itself isn't in bad shape.
Right.
It's everything else.
Yeah, you're looking at probably $150 million into it.
You have to demolish all the buildings on the infield.
Yeah.
You have to demolish the stands, rebuild everything on the infield, and you have one road going in and out of there.
That's the problem. Well, yeah,
and there's only one lane going in and one lane coming out. It's almost like probably worse than Michigan, because Michigan ain't that good.
Well, what they probably did there is the same thing they would do to Michigan. Both lanes go in and then both lanes come out. It's a one-way road that day. And I do, the other thing people forget is the place only held 30,000 fans.
That's all that's coming to the track now. But you put a race in North Wilkesboro, you're going to be getting more than 30,000 people.
Yeah, and what I would like to see, let's for shits and giggles, you buy the place. All you do for infrastructure is some form of garage area, right? Even if it's just the awning style, like they used to do at Martinsville, a place like that, just your carport type situation, or not even. They don't have anything at Bristol. Fuck them. They don't need a garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so no garage, and you do your basic grandstand as is, but you open up just general seating, like grass seating around the track. So there's your throwback. Hey, guess what? Load up the family, bring a beach blanket, bring a lunch.
Yeah. But then that becomes the other bigger question is, and the fans will piss and moan about this as well too, is what track's going to lose a race?
Right. Well, first of all, I think they should run more races.
Yeah.
Really, we should be running 40 a year. At least.
Yeah, it's like if they, I guess, if they did add more tracks like that in and around the Charlotte
that's what I'm
area,
thinking, right? You
right?
can have that condensed season where, even if, and then you'd have the thing, well, you're limiting these tracks. Okay, well, how about your track gets moved to midweek if it's underperforming, or maybe actually if it is good performing regardless, you do, like the people of, hey, we're Bristol. We can run Wednesday night. Why? Because we're Bristol. People will show up. Especially those tracks that have a largely local influx anyways. Yeah. Like it wouldn't work at Michigan because Michigan's too much of a destination track. I don't think Charlotte would work a lot either. Well, Charlotte can and can't, right? Because it's so close, it's so cheap to do. But it also, because
hell, we go there. Charlotte, we can say it, Charlotte is our home track. If we're going to, it's probably one of the farthest tracks from us, but if we're going to call us a track for us, Charlotte is our home track.
That's true.
But really is, when you really stop and think about the people in the Charlotte, Mecklenburg area, because we can say that, could they be NASCAR'd out, do you think?
I think, what I think it is just, that's just a local track that has such a popularity because it's that popular around there that, it just grassrooted itself up to what it is, right? Because we know there's a lot of, especially in the infield, I'd say 2/3 of the infield people don't drive more than 2 hours to arrive at the track.
We know people that drive 2 minutes.
Yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the rest are all long haulers. Like nobody's driving 3 to 5 hours to that race.
No.
Because they're going to a different track. They have their own tracks to deal with.
Because and to that effect, how many people do we see pull in on a Thursday, set up, leave, and you don't see them come back till Sunday?
Right. Terry, I'm drinking tea tonight. With one of my own personal sponsors, Tessie Switch. There we go. Yeah. Because we're NASCAR. We're all about sponsors. This is one of mine.
So it's, I think,
I'd say, not so much like NASCAR out in the fact they're not drawing in the road trippers like us anymore. And those are the people that sat in the stands because, like you say, the locals, they did that, or they're just buying tickets on race day anyways. And they were sitting over in the backstretch stands.
Yeah.
So maybe they are a bit NASCAR'd out. I don't know. But then again, you also get just alone though, it'll be like all the employees are going to be in the stands, right? And every team's got a couple hundred employees, so that quickly adds up to a lot to fill at the stands.
Yeah, because we've seen and we've talked about it before. They've taken a lot of stuff down.
A lot
from that.
Half their seating is gone.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
or 40%. Probably.
Because you look at the seating they used to have between turns 3 and 4 is gone. Seating with the huge grandstand in turn 2 is gone.
Yeah, which was only there for maybe 20 years.
Yeah. So.
Yep, that is true.
So
so I was looking at a driver line. We have your review, right? Sure. Tangents.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. It was the compressed schedule, and then kind of got back to normal for the second half of the season, even.
Yeah, and then there was that new. I hate this. It's been so overused, but the term "new normal," right? With the no qualifying, no practice, just show up and race, and that, and we've talked about it before. That hurt some drivers, helped other drivers.
Yeah. I will say they marketed it okay because they marketed it as this is the new normal, but they should have done it as, again, reaching back to that grassroots, like, hey, we're drawing pills tonight. If you say we're drawing pills for who starts where, just that terminology, all us old timers are going, what? Ooh, okay, late model style. Sounds good. Perfect. Because let's be honest, all these races are invitationals. So they could throw that terminology around too, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah. I lost where I was going. But no, it's I think I don't know. Let's see. So I guess my other thing, kind of a follow up to, because I lost it and
I just hope it doesn't become the new normal where we do lose qualifying and practice and happy hour. And
there's talk of going. Well, there's a bunch of short weekends like we had this for coming up next year.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is because we all know that we're still basically a year away from normal, if there is going to be a normal.
Yeah. So going back to the no practice, no other thing, what drivers do you think it helped this year with that?
That's a good question. I'm going to say drivers like Alex Bowman. You're like, okay, that's an interesting first one.
Well,
and guys of his like that are good on the simulators, so they can get their track time in regardless. And I thought of Bowman off the top of my head because for years he was the simulator guy at Hendrick.
Yeah.
The dedicated, like essentially the dedicated test driver in Formula One. Guys like that, I think because they don't get a lot of seat time at the track anyways, so that they didn't really notice a difference. I think it hurt more drivers than it helped.
I think that's and the two biggest names that I think it hurt the most was Kyle Busch.
Yep, that's one of my two.
My other one that it hurt the most is a guy who the whole COVID thing stopping, making a driver, getting a driver fired out of the sport.
I know where you're going with it.
His relief driver.
Yep,
that sucked for him.
That was going to be because there's no testing, no practice, no qualifying.
And you're not driving a new car. A car you've never driven before.
Yeah.
Here, Matt Kenseth. Have at it. Oh, and your first race is going to be Darlington.
Yeah. Bad enough for Ryan Newman. He has that horrific wreck, takes all the time off, and then green flag. Go back. Yeah. Yep.
Well, and then I guess.
Hope you aren't one of those guys that has
lack of a better term, helping him, he only missed 3 races.
Right.
It's.
Yeah, because when it happened, we're like, a best bet, we were hoping, are we going to see another Kyle Busch situation where bad injuries, long rehab, maybe can win that single race to get back into chase contention. I figured, because we're just kind of going around here and there, talk a bit about looking forward into 2021. There's still quite a few open rides for part-time cars, field fillers, whatever, second, third tier teams. Enough that you got some money, you want to play, you can hire that veteran driver. Who would be the 3 drivers? Because I'm thinking Spire Motorsports right now has 3 open rides that we know of. Drivers haven't re-signed or anything. You can pick 3 veterans that have been out of the series, let's say, within the last 5 years. I know who your number 1 pick is going to be hands down, but who would be your 3 drivers you'd bring in, to take in for the wrestling thing here, you're that manager, and all of a sudden you're pulling back the curtain before the pay-per-view, and you're bringing out your triple factor of these 3 veterans, and the crowd's just going to pop.
I already know 2 of the 3 drivers that they've already signed.
Okay.
That there's nothing down on that list.
Yeah, but we're not. That doesn't matter.
Of people that are still out there, there's not a lot that are still
retired. Basically anybody under the age of 50, put it that way. Because as far as I'm concerned, these guys, assuming they haven't totally out, since they stopped competing, but assuming they stayed in shape. And
I have one guy, but he's going to tell me no off the bat. So I'm like everything in my power to get him to come back.
Well, you're just doing this 1 year, buddy. 1 year, just to get our team off the ground. 1 year. You're paying him like stupid money, so he's not going to say no.
stupid money, and we're not going to tell your wife,
Yes.
is going to be Carl Edwards.
Right. Yeah.
Is hands
I
down.
agree.
He was my guy anyway. Hands down is
Right.
going to be Carl Edwards because we will give you the bubble helmet. We'll put you in a frickin' bubble suit
Right.
in there, and just to get you back in the car. A guy who impressed me all season, and who I know is signed with Spire Motorsports, would be Corey LaJoie.
Okay.
Right, because he's still, he just needs that shot in good equipment. I think.
Because I'm thinking myself, I'm just pulling in 3 veterans, myself. But I like that. You could have 2 veterans and a young guy. I kind of like that idea too.
Carl Edwards, and I think LaJoie needs it. I'm trying to think of a 4th. That's we know Matt Kenseth wants no part of it. He's kind of already said that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I would want to give Casey Kane another shot. After the Rod deal that he got, I want to give him another shot to say, you know what? Here, go show them.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking because we're spending stupid money.
Every off day, you go run that sprint car.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, because you got the money, so we've talked to our friend over at Gibbs, she's like, don't worry, you're gonna get parts. Yeah. You're gonna, we're gonna be a good team.
Yeah.
You're built. No. And I was thinking to myself, I would probably bring, say Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, and maybe Greg Biffle.
And you know what? He's having thoughts.
Well, that was the whole thing. When he left his ride, he said he didn't say he was retiring. If anything, he said, I'd like to do part-time.
Yep. And who knows? There was a flash in the pan once, and I want to say he's got a partial truck ride for next year. I just lost. I had it, and I lost it. Daytona 500 winner, Trevor Bayne.
I was going to say Trevor Bayne would be my younger driver. I'd give that second shot to.
And you say younger, but
actually,
8 years ago that he won that Daytona 500.
Actually, who I'm going to give that other ride to? Parker Kligerman. How many times this past year has he gone from being a pit road reporter? He runs in the Xfinity car and he runs top 5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So fuck it. I'm giving it to Kligerman, who really hasn't had an honest ride since he was with Penske.
I know who I'm not giving it to.
Ty Dillon?
Vickers. But anyway. We'll change that topic real quick. How about that for a team? Put Vickers and Kyle Larson on the team together.
Ooh.
Think a sponsor's going to touch that car? No, it can't.
Or are you able to get certain information that all of a sudden, how are they attracting all these major corporate sponsors? Well, we know their CEO.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
We won't do interviews. We'll take your money, but we won't do interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And they somehow got NASCAR charters too. Somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Just a thought. Just a thought about that.
And the other thing that I found kind of funny with some of the stuff from this year, we had talked about it a bit off air, was just some of the teams that had, or some of the people in the sport that did like double, triple duty with different cars this year.
Right.
We had talked about.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I looked at Tommy Baldwin Jr. and Mike Hillman Sr. I think they both were part of 3 different. They're a crew chief for 3 different Cup cars this year at some point.
Yep.
Right?
And when you had mentioned that to me, I went, I get it, because, and you had mentioned, was it one of the Spire teams had 9 different drivers?
The 77 car, they had 4 crew chiefs, being Tommy Baldwin, Peter Sapenzo, James Pullman, and Thomas Tucker.
Well, see, that reminds me, Doug, you remember our team owner, James Finch?
Yep.
James Finch, before he was running full-time with the 09, used to run about 12 races a year with 7 different drivers every year.
Well, that Spire Motorsports, the 77 car, along with those 4 crew chiefs that they had, they also, their drivers, they had Ross Chastain for 5 races. They had J.J. Yaley for 6, Reed Sorensen for 12, Garrett Smitherly for 5, B.J. McLeod was in there for 2, James Davidson for 2, Josh Bilicki for 2, Stanton Barrett for 1, and Justin Haley for 1. So how about that for that's really kind of give everybody a chance in the car.
Well, like I said, yeah, I get it because it's like certain drivers can bring a sponsor for one race here, one race there. You just do what you can to make a few bucks to get her down the road to the next race. I dig it. I've always liked that. Reminds me of I was watching. He had a chance of one off Jimmy Means. A long time, one of those type team owners and driver owner before that. And he was out there, and it was in the mid to late 80s, late 80s. That's right. Where he was asked to do a one-off driving for Rick Hendrick in the 25 car when Tim Richmond was not doing too well. And Rick Hendrick being a stand-up guy, they even numbered it as the 52 Folgers car instead of 25 and gave him the owner's points for the race.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he crashed out early, but he qualified like top 5. And everyone's like, he's like, hey, I can do it. Yes. And he had media, and it really, obviously, it helped for a good year and a half down the road.
But I don't know. I think to put the 2020 season, because it was, like you said, for some guys it was great. Other guys, let's just put that in the rearview mirror and look on to next season. So
we've got a few drivers that like still without rides. So is Ty Dillon going to be racing next year?
I don't know. There's those other part-time ones. We've talked about it. I almost think I think it's time for him to maybe go on the management side of things.
Pull a JD Gibbs, a Larry Foyt, Mike Dillon. Same deal, right? Mike was the driver for RCR,
and now to bring up the name JD Gibbs, that really kind of put a shitty start to the season. Really, it's with losing him. But
now, am I correct? Didn't JD also have a brother that raced?
I can't remember offhand.
Like, it seems to be, and he had started racing in around time JD stopped racing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't think of it offhand. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, dude, you happen to see recently Tony Stewart went to a driving school?
No.
Spent the day at Frank Hawley's drag racing school down in Florida.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I may have seen that. I've seen a bunch of stuff on him lately.
He went up he just started a YouTube channel. So There you go. But he got up as high as alcohol dragster. So that's second from the top.
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But the funny part is they had him they were showing him in his hotel room before he went over there, putting on the fire suit. And it's it's nothing like a cup fire suit. It's bulky. There's an extra layer or two. He's just, I don't know how you move in this thing. He was like, I feel like the Michelin Man. Like, and I'm not gonna lie,
he's already close to it.
He kind of, and his girlfriend, of course, being NHRA drag racer herself, she's just laughing her ass off at it.
Mm-hmm.
And they was talking about the cowling. You put your mask on, but in drag racing, you'll have it over your fire suit. He's like, why don't you tuck your cowling into your fire suit like every other series? Well, we just don't. Why is that? She's like, I don't know. Tradition. It looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, check that out, folks. As well as he's put up some videos on his helmet collection, which he started about a year ago. First of all, he's got one hell of a gaming room. Woo!
Yeah.
It's got a nice 30-foot bar with a gaming room across from the bar. Like, oh, nice. And then all these cabinets with helmets in them. And he's got, I think, every Cup champion starting with Rusty Wallace going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like every championship helmet, including he happened to find one of Rusty's 89 helmets, which was pretty cool to see.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I digress into my Tony Stewart fandom because that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. 2021 hopefully will be a better year for a lot of the competitors, just to be more competitive, be able to maybe do a bit more.
And don't be disappointed if your favorite driver or team is off the pace and they don't seem to be giving two rats' asses. Don't worry about it. They're just tuning up for next year with the new cars, because I have a feeling you're going to see that. Like, a couple teams are just going to throw away 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, basically the 5 car is going to be an R&D team.
Yeah.
Because they ain't getting sponsored. Be interesting if you start and parked.
Be very interesting. I think it would piss off a lot of people.
Yep, start and park just to keep the charter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because those charters don't even change necessarily. If you finish in the top 35 in points,
unless you sell it, it's yours.
Right. Yeah,
which I think for myself, that should change.
Yeah, because it should be the top 35 or even that. I don't know. I don't think you should have it anyways. That's the whole point. It's open. It's independent. Like, that's like, like the NHL has their 30 teams. So, oh, by the way, this team wants to compete. Okay, show up.
Yep.
What are you going to do? Have a play-in tournament? Well, they're pretty good. They're not as good as us, but they're decent.
Mm-hmm.
Do we let them play as part of the league? No.
Yeah.
So we got to get rid of that. Yeah. I understand the top 30. Yeah, go back to like it was before. First 5 races a year, you revert to the previous year's owner points. Top 35 are locked in no matter what. And you race for the other 5 spots. Or, hey, open it up again. Bigger tracks, run 45, 50 cars.
Yeah.
You can't run 50 cars at Daytona. It just means you might have 13 cars finish the race instead of 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope, Terry, that's some fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news. But yeah.
Yeah. The real news is he's sponsoring an Aurora team.
But yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to next season. Just,
Me too. I like
it'll be our first full season.
Yeah. I like the changes they made, more road courses, because I love stock cars on road courses. Always have, always will.
Just as long as someone takes out that 9-car lap 1 on every one of them, I will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Watkins glad. I'm going to start on the outside for the pole. Okay. And let's have like Robbie Gordon starting inside of him.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm not letting off.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have our first Cup race on dirt, which is going to be awesome. The trucks are going to be running on dirt twice.
I did see that the World of Outlaws are going to be running Bristol as well too.
Nice.
The weekend before and the weekend after, I believe. I think I've seen that. The weekend before, the sprint cars are going to run. Then it'll be the Cup cars, and then the weekend after, the late models will.
I was going to say that would be awesome to just stay down there for that, but it's all one-day events. Like, it'd be different if, hey, all that time trials and practices and shit.
No, I think it's the World of Outlaws are doing 2-day events.
Well, you know what I mean, though, but it's not going to be quite the same. Like, if they were running at Bristol and it was 1993, you could go to that track on Wednesday and there's going to be cars on track every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what I miss, the shakedowns. Like, Mary, it used to be, man, I'm thinking early 2000s, once we had speed vision, and it was like, it was like having the Weather Channel or the news on in the background. I just had it on all day, every day, because it was 8 hours of coverage a day from Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're somebody's practicing or they're talking about in between the sessions, and they staggered it. So it was like 1 to 1:45 is Cup. Well, let's take half an hour, 45 minutes off, let the talking heads talk and interview, and so nothing overlapped, and it was just smooth. I used to book it off for vacation from work. I was one of the first people to staycation. You going to Speed Weeks? Kinda. Not leaving my room, but I'm watching TV 8, 12 hours a day. Plus, then we had that. Like, it would start mid-January. You had winter testing.
Yeah. You'd have the Speed Weeks from there.
Yeah, because that was, we had 2 weeks. It was odds and even teams would go down 1 week, then the other. And then that would lead into practice for the Rolex 24. Then you had a week or 2 off, and then boom, you're in the Speed Weeks.
Yep.
And the first thing they'd say, hey, how was your off-season? Well, I just ran at New Smyrna last night and ran a third. Oh, nice. Yeah, watch out for this young guy coming up. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yep. But
maybe once again one day, who knows?
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I would love to do. That I'd love that plan, but it's just finding time and resources to do it.
Well, yeah, time and resources. No kidding. Well, hopefully, we will definitely get out to some races, hopefully next year in some way, assuming things are open. We'll do some, maybe some Pinty's races, possibly the truck race at the very minimum.
And hoping that we can get some more guests on here next year just to talk about stuff. Just to kind of give their...
I like guests that talk about stuff. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no, we just talk about, just their experiences, their whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And just to kind of, I don't want to say preview, but I had to go back to NasCar Illustrated 2015. Yes, Truex on the cover. But one of our guests was actually in that, one of our possible scheduled guests, Mr. Mike Cleveland, was actually in the, they did a full article on him.
In the man cave.
So, so hopefully we'll have him from said man cave soon.
At some point.
We're just trying to work out details.
Yeah, that Doug's doing all that because they can only talk to long-haired guys so much.
Yeah,
they're like, you look like one of us. We'll talk to you, Doug. We like you.
Yeah,
we tolerate him.
There's a couple guys, and I have to convince the one guy to do it. But yeah.
Well, and he's also the type that's like, why do any of these people ever want to talk to me? Why does NASCAR Illustrated want to talk to me? Why does Charlotte Motor Speedway want to put me into their Fans Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Gee, I don't know, bud.
They've raced, 61 Coca-Cola 600s now? Or World 600s? And you've missed 3.
2.
Is it 2? I thought it was 3. I thought I'd seen an article where he said 3.
Well, it would be this year.
This year.
And then when Corey was born.
Yes, and I believe he missed another one early for time in the service.
Oh, okay. Not many, Terry. Not many. Me and Kyle Petty. That's about it.
But yeah.
Although I probably would have got along with Tim Richmond pretty good.
I think everyone would have got along with Tim Richmond pretty good.
Was Tim Richmond really just the Clint Boyer of his day?
I think so.
Because really, because everything being tamer today.
Yeah.
And Clint being Clint.
Clint's a throwback.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, thankfully. We need more of them. We need more. Who is going to be because, I'll say Clint kind of took over for Tony Stewart for being that mouthpiece in a way. Yeah. Who is going to be the next one? Who won't just come across as sounding like a whiner, right? Like,
I don't think there is one.
Well, that's because I'm thinking, I remember when Jeff Gordon started, Jeff Gordon could say some stuff and all the drivers respected it. Like if he said something at a driver's meeting, people listened. Yeah. When he said something, NASCAR listened. But the fans always saw him as a whiner, even though from day one, Dale Earnhardt was like, dude, speak up. You're the next group. Like you're leading the group next after me type thing. And then, but That's what I'm trying to think. Like, would it be Denny Hamlin? Maybe because Denny will talk about the cars or Kyle Busch. Nah, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, but the fans, they don't, because of him wanting to win races.
Yeah,
he doesn't get
yeah.
that
But then
respect.
again, Tony Stewart used to get that kind of people. They weren't the biggest Tony Stewart fans earlier in his career too. Especially before when he was going to anger management and such.
And to a degree, I think Truex has been labeled with that because he's one guy that he doesn't talk much,
right?
But he's pissed off if he loses.
Yeah.
Right. And
well, Truex only is being seen, if anything, a bit of a whiner, only because he cries in victory lane. If he could win a race and not fucking cry, we're good.
Well,
he's a crier.
There's been some circumstances there that there's been some emotional victories.
Well, yeah, I get it, but I don't know. Is that what it takes? Like, he has to go to emotional rock bottom to win a NASCAR race? Because I swear, every time, he's like, they really like. I'm like, you're not fucking Sally Field.
Well, there was one win that I have on this shirt here.
Yeah.
That he didn't. But actually, there's been and I have to for myself, because it happened once and we were told, I was told, don't get used to it because not many people go to a race and see their favorite win. I've been able to do it twice, and be in victory lane for it. So
yeah,
I will.
I don't think I've been in the presence of my favorite driver finishing in the top 10 at a NASCAR race, regardless of who I was pulling for.
But I will say, flying home after a win is very, very much nicer than driving home after a win the next morning.
No kidding. I can imagine. Yeah, Lord help me if I got to drive back after my driver ever wins. Well, thank God Clint never won a 600 while we were down there, right?
Yeah.
Because God knows I was pretty much delicate enough as was, because I pretty much would celebrate anybody winning.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think if there's much else.
All right. Well, I'm just thinking, what driver do we think is going to break through, turn the page, kick it up a notch next year? Someone to keep an eye on. They could already have a good ride. Someone that might just turn ahead or surprise. I think, I hate to say it, but I think right now for me, Matt DiBenedetto is still in that Denny Hamlin territory. Like every year, Denny Hamlin, favorite for the championship. Why?
You know what? He's going to be one to watch because he's out of a ride.
At the end of the year, right?
At the end of the year.
Right.
So he's going to be balls out all year.
I'm thinking, I think Alex Bowman might win 2 or 3 races next year. Which would be hey, there we go. Take the next step.
I can't see it, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, he's getting in that late 29s, right, and stuff. That.
Yeah.
He's got enough under the belt that it's more it's a put up or shut up year for him.
I want to see just the pressure was already on Chase to begin with. Now that he's got that championship handed to him,
is he going to have a sophomore slump type thing?
Because he's gonna have a lot more pressure now. Because people are already saying that he is repeating. Haven't heard that much from people before. Now that he's that the champion is going to be repeating.
Does it seem like the Dale Jr. sheeple immediately went to Chase? Like he can do no wrong. He's the next coming of Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt rolled into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always like, how many races is he going to win next year? Hey, anybody that can win more than 3 races in a year has an amazing year. And they're calling him to win 6.
They've already pegged him for winning all the road course races.
Yeah, exactly. Which I call bull on because I I can't rule out that Kirk Busch is like, I don't know what it is about Kirk Busch, but he is amazing on a road course.
And I said before, does Truex win that race at Daytona on the infield road course if Jimmy Johnson doesn't like just hammer the brakes
right
in front of Martin on that restart?
Right.
So it's he's not going to have that veteran driver there to protect him next year with Jimmy giving it up.
The driver with nothing to lose, because the young guys can't do that because they got to look at their next contract.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether your current owner says, hey, like that. We were seeing that with the one, was Eric Jones driving for Gibbs this year.
Yep.
Hey, he'll move over. He's a team. Like, why? He gave two rats ass about a Gibbs car winning.
Oh, exactly.
They already showed him the door.
Yep. And you've seen that with one of those races at the end there. Was it the Martinsville race where he was banging on Denny?
Right. And Dale Jr.'s loving it.
Yep.
Well, you can tell Dale Jr. loves to play devil's advocate when he can, because you have like Letard saying, oh, well, he'll be a good, teammate, move out of the way for the Gibbs drivers. And Dale Jr., I'd wreck him. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Put him in the wall. Who cares? They fired your ass.
Yeah. But then he would go silent when his own drivers were banging on each other.
Right. Are there any female drivers still in NASCAR?
All in the lower series.
Trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And making a few kind of sprinkled starts. I know, was it Haley Deegan or the other one?
Haley Deegan will be this year probably making some Xfinity.
There was one that had some medical issues.
Right.
That had kept her out of the car.
Yeah, because I think only really Jennifer Jo Cobb is the only one still kind of doing it, right?
I was going to say, yeah, she's been doing it for the longest.
Yeah. Which, that's been the case for 30 years now. There's always seemed to be a woman in the series at any given time, for the most part. And Jennifer's been doing it now, geez, the better part of 20 years?
Yeah, I want to see that. But, just thinking of some other news, current news. Mm-hmm. There is now a new grandfather clock in Canada.
Yes.
Cole Pern's grandfather clock from Martinsville
did arrive.
He's finally make his way to BC, which is now the northernmost
grandfather clock from a Martinsville win.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah. Previously, that record owned by the Earl Ross, the one that Earl Ross had won at Martinsville,
but he lived in Southern Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah. But so you can actually visit that clock when you visit Cole's resort in BC.
Exactly. Nice. Well, if you folks have any questions for us as well, keep them coming. We got 3 people watching. We're going to go for another 5 minutes here or so. Another driver I'm going to keep an eye on for next year will be, I guess, my new favorite driver, right? I think I'm rooting for Chase Briscoe next year.
Yeah, that's right. You're talking. Yeah.
See, because I was thinking Ryan Blaney. I was going to pull for Ryan, because I like Ryan. He's cool, but
just the team
until he gets a different ride.
Yeah. I think that Stuart Haas team is going to be interesting to watch. Right?
Yep.
Because
you know what? You might see a big turn in the technology department. That just reminded me, because I don't know if you know, but Haas F1, they are moving a lot of their operation over to Maranello. They're building a plant right next to Ferrari. And that's part of what I was talking about on a previous show. Ferrari has to leech off some employees. Yep. But you're going to see a lot of vacuum there move over there, which makes sense, because why the hell are you in Mooresville, North Carolina, for a Formula One team that runs in North America twice a year?
They're not in Mooresville. They're
Huntersville?
Yeah.
Whatever. Either way, North Carolina. So I think you're going to see, definitely some employees from Haas F1 shift next door.
Will that be just the security or
God, I hope not.
to keep you out? But no, just I'm thinking that they're going to be a team to watch to see just how they do because they've got Harvick on his way. He's been on his way out for a while, but getting long in the tooth, and then
Right.
you got Eric Almirola,
Yep.
Cole Custer, and Briscoe. So you got like a first year, a second year. Almirola, he's been around 8 years now.
Oh hell no, no. He started running part time for Ginn Motorsports in the 01.
True.
So yeah, he's been around a long time. Yeah. But that's like how many years did he run for Richard Petty? How many years? He was running in Gibbs.
How many years did he run for Junior at Junior Motorsports?
Right. Like he's had quite the 88. I think you're probably going to see another veteran go over there at some point. You got to have that veteran.
Right. They got 4 cars.
Yeah, but to replace Harvick.
Yeah.
Who that would be, I don't know necessarily, because a lot of drivers, I don't know. They just kind of fade away all of a sudden. Also, I'm retiring. Why? You won a race in the last 5 years. Aren't you supposed to hang on for 10 years past your prime?
Yeah.
But then again, there's a lot of drivers taking pay cuts too, so that could be a lot of it too.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. And that's, I think that was another factor of this whole year, with guys having to take pay cuts. But
it's like looking at you're thinking Ty Dillon going into management, the changing of the guard, because as we say, over half the NASCAR field is owned by guys over the age of 70.
Yep.
Who could all decide tomorrow to give it up. Now, we do know, Jeff Gordon / Ray Evernham will take over Hendrick in some way, because Ray's always kept some involvement there.
And Gordon already owns one of the cars.
Yeah. Yeah. And maintain, I think he's on the board of directors as well. Childress, it's going to stay in the family. You've got Dylan there, Mark to take it over as a placeholder until the boys take it over, what have you.
Yeah, because I think Mark is not Mike. Mike. He is. I think he is number 2 at that race shop.
Yeah,
I think so. What I was going to say, for number 2 at the race shop, he was a lot nicer as a number 2 at a race shop than we had at any other race shop we had seen.
That's true.
Remember that, for us, it was like we weren't sure where to go. We were standing outside at Childress.
And of all people to find, that's like walking into Gibbs complex and you're running into Joe himself.
Yeah. We were trying to decide whether 3 different shops to go to, because they had the Xfinity shop. There was one other one I remember down the road, and we were at the museum, I guess, was the one. And we weren't sure whether we could go in the race shop or not. And we were talking amongst each other, and then all of a sudden Mike appears out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh yeah, go down there. You can do all this, this." And I'm like.
Yeah, because you were kind of dumbstruck. I went "Thanks, Mike," like that, because I knew who it was right away.
And my wife being an Austin Dillon fan, right?
Yeah,
was like, that just looks like
he looks familiar.
He looks like an older Austin Dillon.
That's because he is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's taken care of. Tim Cindric's already running the day-to-day for Penske.
Yeah.
So we know that's taken care of. Not going to Penske's son, apparently, but whatever. But then you got Jack Roush. I think that team's just going to get sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there isn't really even... if it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you say Mark Martin was going to take over. They don't have a flag waving Ford driver even.
No.
It's Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. Those are your 2 lead Ford drivers by a long margin.
Could that be someone to take over Roush?
Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Well, that's if Ford got involved with the sale, yes. because we know Brad's had experience running a race team.
And you know what? And for being a dick, he ran that team pretty good.
You know what? Again, though, but a dick the same way he rubs certain people the wrong way, but like Kyle Butch, like he's never been out there going, "Hey, UFOs!" Or like he had legit gripes. Maybe he doesn't play it the right way at times.
And like Kyle, how many? I can't think of them off my head, top of my head now, but how many good young drivers came out of BK Racing?
Right.
You know,
and how much he did for the sport, because it was him and Kevin Harvick at the time that were really propping up the truck series.
Yep.
And he comes from a racing family. His brother raced. His dad, longtime racer and car owner in trucks, ARCA, ASA, all that stuff. And and Brad's been around. He's seen both sides of the business too, right? Whether being the Hendrick development driver to all of a sudden not having rides, then getting rides, and
I'm wondering, and part of my brain working here now is wondering, is that why he's only signing 1-year contracts? Because there could be that time where it's going to be like, there's a whole team here ready to go.
Yeah.
Because that the grounds of that race shop are pretty nice.
And being a Michigan boy,
right in their backyard, like right. It's but
nice. I love the comments, Eddie.
I'm it's getting a side eye, but yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, it reminds me a lot of that 29 team, the Cartoon Network car for a number of years.
Yeah.
So there we are on that. Can you name 2 drivers that drove for the Cartoon Network car?
Oh crap!
Name one.
I can see a diecast that I almost bought the one time.
The first one was probably the worst person you could have, because he was one of the last of those gruff and grumbly NASCAR drivers. You had Robert Presley driving the car.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a good fit.
Yeah.
Jerry Nadeau also drove the car.
Okay, yeah.
Amongst others.
Robert Presley just on a recent episode of Dale Jr.'s Lost Tracks.
Nice.
Eddie Van Halen, he wears glasses. That'd be Joey Logano.
Yeah. Yeah, because he can only grow the pencil thin mustache too.
Yeah. Yeah. And villainous because he almost killed us.
Yeah. Grinning away while doing it.
He just lost it with the mean laugh. He's just got the squinty douchey smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a face only a mother wants to smack.
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants to smack.
He doesn't have the mean laugh. He's got like the nerdy Nelson from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
No, not Nelson. The other.
It's more of Ralph Wiggum.
No, that too. Yeah. I was thinking the bully kid.
The boy kid.
The bully one. Whatever.
Bart Milhouse.
No.
Well, Nelson usually did the laugh. Ha ha.
Oh no, was it that? Okay, I thought it was.
No, that was Nelson.
Anyway. Okay. Well, really tell that we are. No, it wasn't Martin. No, it's that the big fat ass bully kid.
Jimbo.
I don't fucking know.
Kearney.
The one that's in the dumb kid.
I think you're thinking of Nelson. I don't know. Who's Homer Simpson in NASCAR then? Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah. For size, I think Chip Matthew. But
yeah, I don't know about current. Have to think on that one.
Yeah. So we're over the hour.
Yeah, we are. Yep, that's true. I can hear some rustling going on upstairs.
Yep.
So looking forward to next week. Hopefully somebody signs with somebody. There's an announcement. I've been watching some NASCAR videos this week, and everyone's saying the same thing. There's nothing happening. I don't even know why I'm making a video. Well, you know what? Try doing it live, folks.
Yes.
If not, worst case, we'll reminisce some more, and we'll do up some more of these what ifs and
we do
conspiracy theories, and
we do have this here that we can break out.
And what is that?
This is really going to kill my camera.
Oh, the infamous racing experience in Florida?
So, like I said, it's going to kill my camera here now. Oh, no, it didn't.
No, because it wouldn't focus on it. That looked like a petty swoop on there. Drive petty. Yep, that could be arranged. We could do that, sure.
It is all on the flash drive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we found these flash drives with this incriminating evidence of Doug's proof he can't drive a stick.
Yes.
So there we are. Until next time, he's Doug. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah, we're presented by Viberprint. Should mention that at some point. There we are.
Yeah. See,
and
like and subscribe is right there.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Get us to 48 subs. That'd be nice. Well, actually, 49. I'd rather be 49.
Right there. There it goes,
yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that. Cheers, folks. See you later. Keep it high.